Hi, Pamela. You did a great job on this course. And we'll take a look at the line coming out of the tunnel and how to manage that tunnel break and still get to your position for the forced front cross. Um, let's go ahead and start. We'll slow it down as usual. Yeah, good. Nice job on the human arrow. So position's really nice. They're standing on what we hope to be the landing spot, I think. Hands low, looking at the dog, chest laser pointing the takeoff, toes pointing where you are going. And we want to see that little bit of collection, which we saw it, and then sending to the tunnel. Really nicely done there. Move to your position, look at him, so make sure connection is prepared here. And this turning can be done sooner. So human arrow, really nice. I think maybe what I might mention here is that as soon as he lands this one, he's pretty much next to you, so just the one step to send and then get out of there. And I think you did. And then as you're, yeah, you did. Good. So now as you're moving down to your position for the reverse spin, still be looking like towards the end of the tunnel so you just have the connection prepared already. And be thinking that he's going to like come out of that tunnel right now. And so here you should already be looking right at him and one step to commit, because here he's just about to catch up to you. As soon as he does, and then that's when the handling starts to become late. So when we're doing a handling technique like a spin or a front cross or a technique where we have to be ahead, they need to see that step to commit before they catch up to us. And then the other piece of that is that when the spacing is that there's only like a couple of strides, maybe 3 strides here to work with, and you only have that one stride before takeoff rule where we want that reverse spin to be done before he takes off, then if you start the spinning before he reaches you, and then you already then kick off with dog side leg and push around, then the spin is done. And here he's just about to take off and you're still in this spot and still telling him about this jump. He now needs to know how to take the jump, and by the time he's in the air, he's already made the decision. It's too late. And so this is why the spinning doesn't have as much of an effect, because by the time the spinning happens, you're in the air, and so you can, or he's in the air when you're spinning, and so you can see when he lands, he expected this line a little bit more, when really now you're telling him, hey, come in here, and so he had to correct that. So it's a long way of saying, do the spin sooner. So on commitment, which this is commitment, I think he's looking at the jump and not you, and I'm not sure, can you see him? So when he's coming out of the tunnel, maximum eye contact there so that you can see the commitment. I don't even think that you need to lift your arm this much. This is step to commit and rotate. Okay, so this step that you've just made here, this is enough, because he's just about to catch up to you, and if he passes you, then we're going to become late if we haven't done the handling. Okay, and so this hand can be low next to your leg, and he already knows to go to this jump. So now we need to tell him how to take that jump. Where does he put his feet? And so if we want him putting his feet like that, then that spin needs to be finished before he takes off, so he has time to prepare. Good. So nice dropping the reward. I think he was prepared for a different line. This is better. Okay, yeah, and then doing that from that bit of distance so that you send him forward, I think helps with the timing. All right, so yes, step to commit, but now already kick off with dog side leg and rotate around so that it's done. Still, you're spinning when he was in the air. I think he knows a little bit more about where the line is now because of where your position is, so that also helped him, that you sent him forward to the spin instead of running quite as deep. So that made a really nice difference. Just practice that you kick off with dog side leg and rotate before he takes off to get that spinning done sooner. So then now this tandem turn, also, like when he's committed to the hand, that's when you start to show him the turn, which is now. Okay, so now like we need to start to turn toward him, And I think that he's not sure about the lead leg change here. Yeah. The turning the nose away is what's missing here. So he's looking at your hand. Yes. Yeah. So you did like turn your opposite leg towards him there. I can see. But I think there was also enough of a rhythm change there that like he still didn't turn away from you. So if you stop moving, they will turn towards you regardless of what your outside leg is doing. Let's watch it in flow. So moving. Yeah. So that, yeah, there's just a bit of a rhythm change there. And I think that that's a little bit of why he didn't turn away from you. You might, with this tandem turn, use both hands because it's a little bit tighter. But also, let's start that actual tandem turn, the turning away sooner, and make sure you keep moving. And make sure you have enough room to do it because he has to pass you to do that. So, well, that's the course setup. Yeah, that's it there. So just make sure you keep the motion steady, and maybe for the tighter turnings on tandem turn, maybe use both hands for him. And keep your hand low. And it's a little bit because I think this jump is on the handler path a little. And so that's sort of what's making you have to kind of make that little hitch in your motion. But better that time. Yeah, good. Yeah, the spins get better and better. So watch him here, see him commit, and turn and go. Better. Good, you were nice and ahead for that one. Really good shaping of the turn. So with reverse V-set, you got super shaping. Like you really got the takeoff, like him to change his takeoff. And it might even be like slightly too deep, where it still was a little bit on the wider side. But part of the thing here with this one is that you never really stop moving. Like you stop going forward, but you rotate with him, which if we were doing a regular V-set, where the line continues that way, it might feel like a bit like that, but for reverse V-set, you turn away from the dog like in a spin, or a Yako turn. All right, so this is reverse V-set to Yako turn, really, that we're doing here. So this rhythm change, once this has happened, and it should happen before he reaches you, and I think that's a little bit of still why he's kind of out a bit wide, is that he's almost caught up to you by the time he sees the rhythm change, so that's a matter of being ahead enough that he has time to see it. So send to this. This is the backside send reverse spin as much as you can so that you can get to this position. Because as he's landing this one, now this rhythm change has to be finished now on the landing. Okay, make sure you're looking at him. And then you're staying put there. So you're not rotating your body here. You're staying like this. And you're going to see him shape his takeoff point while you're staying in that position. And then once he's shaped the line and is lifting, then you're turning away from him and moving parallel. So this way, but you're turning away. Okay? Rather than turning with. If that makes sense. And even if it's a V-set, like it's a regular V-set and not a reverse V-set, we're not fully rotating. We're stopping in this position to make the rhythm change, and then we're moving. It's not like a shoulder pull, for example. And I think you can see that he was anticipating a different line, and you had to pull him in. You see that? So there you really had to pull him in here. But if you do the reverse V-set where you turn away from him and your path is already just going that way, he would know to come in here. All right, so turn away from the dog and move this way, and he's gonna know about that line immediately. But if you turn with him and do that rotation that you did going that way, then he anticipated that line going parallel to that. And then you had to pull him in. All right, send here. Nice. I think, even though it's a little bit off camera, I think one of the things that will help, because you have the send to the backside, so really great that he's able to go there independently, is that when we look at what the footwork is when you're doing this reverse spin, that when you make the send to the backside with dog side leg, like that should be the last step forward, is this, because he's past you now. So he has to be committed and you have to be ready to show him the next line. Any other motion forward is just extraneous by the time he catches up to you. And you can see, like, so that you start to continue moving forward there. Whereas once you've sent him, which is that's the last step forward you're taking. Now you're going to push off with dog side leg and kick off so that you can rotate around. So here I would say, like, maybe don't have your legs quite so far apart, but keep your weight even, so that that dog side leg you can push off and kick around. And if you do that, then I think that you're covering ground. So he's going to that backside and you're already headed this way, which makes it much easier to get the V-set done on time. Because there's steps here that happen that keep you right on that spot. And when any kind of reverse spin should include that you're traveling. So if you kick off with dog side leg and push around, you're going to also be moving across, so you'll be showing that motion, and you'll be able to get to that position sooner. Watch him here. Again, V-set, reverse V-set, turn away from him. So when you're creating a rep with the V-set, what you're looking to use is reverse V-set to Yako turn or reverse V-set to front cross. Reverse V-set to front cross would include a side change. This reverse V-set is to a Yako turn, no side change. When you're looking to create a line that would be just going back this way, regular V-set, where you keep the dog on the same handling side and you essentially commit with that handling side and then no side change, move with him. But here you're going to turn against him like in a Yako turn. Okay, so here, then now you're going to turn away from him and be going that way. So chest laser would turn in this direction, not, so is it clockwise, not counterclockwise. Even though I think you got shaping of the takeoff really nice there, you can see again he anticipates a different line. He thinks to go that way. And if the reverse V-set is done that way, where before he's even lifting, you're already moving this way, then that's how he knows exactly where to put his feet so that he's coming this way. Or actually, it's not to the backside. It's in there, but I can't really draw it, can I? Hopefully that made sense. Okay, so this camera angle, I can't see quite how far. I guess it's pretty wide. Yeah, I don't know. I think so with tunnel break, you can do degrees of tunnel break. Hard tunnel break, that will really tighten the turn strongly. Softer tunnel break, that will tighten the turn a little bit. So the strength of the rhythm change is what will tell him. And so there really wasn't much of one, but I understand why, because you felt like you needed to get to that position. But it might be that a very slight pause in your motion, a slight rhythm change, will get you enough of a tunnel break that then you're able to get to that spot still for the forced front cross. But we do want some extension out of the tunnel because that's part of what helps them to shoot out to the correct side. So we don't want, I think you mentioned that in your post, that we don't want too tight of turning because it'll end up on the wrong side. Yes, you did say that. So like it's like it's just a slight pause there. That might be just enough to get him to turn just a little bit more. But nice, position for the forced front cross there, hand low, see him commit, turn one step to the end of the jump cups, and then moving to that reverse wrap, which I think you can do the forced front cross a little bit sooner. So as soon as he commits to your hand, so as soon as he's looking at your hand, turn. So I think that's happened already, so you can turn sooner on that one, and that then makes it easier to reach this reverse wrap position so that you can be here by the end of the bar, and he'll really know, okay, come in here earlier, and he can see the wing easily that way. This is really, technically it's backside send front cross as opposed to reverse wrap. Now it worked perfectly fine, you got a really nice turn. So just so that you know the difference. Yeah, okay, good. And then this front cross, little bit wide because when he commits, which is now, your next motion is still forward. So you're telling him a lot of extension because once he's committed, you're still moving. So make sure you're watching him. You can keep your hand down so you can easily see him. Because he needs to know sooner about how to take that jump. This turning, again, was really nice. And then you had really good connection as he's coming through that wrap. Here, it's, I think, a little bit dropped. I think you can stand to, like, maybe see a bit more of your eyes here, but he's committed. Okay, and so it's also important that you can see him. And I don't know, does your arm maybe block that a little bit? Because once he is committed now, this is the time, and he's caught up to you now. Like, again, that's the last time that you can tell him, like, that without becoming late. Okay, is now. Because beyond that, he's not then seeing any kind of ascending legs. He's already ahead of you. So that now we need to turn. But he's been committed already. So this is all now extra steps towards the jump that tell him extension. And then there's also not, the rotation is not done by the time he's taking off. So you're still turning when he's in the air. So that's why it ends up being a little bit wide. So really look to see commitment and turn sooner. But here, this connection is awesome. That's a bit of a drop. Now it's back. All right, so just keep that consistent connection that you had there. Okay, and then this is end up kind of a little bit more tandem turny than lap turny. So for this one, rhythm change on commitment to this jump, and we have to stop moving, which I think he's committed now, so there's still some motion there, and we really want him to see the rhythm change so that he knows to come towards you. And this is one of those lap turn lines where it is a little bit more possible to turn him in front of you as opposed to next to you. Still, that's close to a tandem turn. All right, so rhythm change here, and then hand low, and turn the nose, but still we're going to turn our foot. So on a lap turn like this one, when you make this rhythm change, still toes and chest sleeves are pointing towards the takeoff, and then you're still going to make a couple of steps backward this way, and then once you're in that, and with your hand low, and once he is looking at the hand, then, so here your toes are pointing, both sets of toes pointing towards the tunnel. It's like you take a couple of steps backward this way, and then you're going to help him to make this lead leg change by turning him away from you with this hand, your right hand, but also your right foot. You can you point your toes towards the tunnel. and that will help. But this, like if you're turning him away from you this way where you're moving forward, and then turning towards him like that, that's tandem turn. It still worked, but just so you know the difference there. All right, and then yes, V set, rhythm change done. Now he went to the incorrect side of you because there's maybe just not quite enough connection there. All right, so you got the rhythm change done, but you really have to see him for him to come to the correct side of you. And I think your position can be more. You're just a little bit too far away from the jump there, so you can be standing here. But make sure you see him. That's connection. Okay, watch him here. You're a bit looking forward. Yes, and then with the reverse V set there, you still want to have that rhythm change done. So you need to be ahead enough that you can stop your motion and he can see it. That he has time to see it before he reaches you. Again, if he catches up to you and that handling is not done, then he is making other plans based on what he sees. So here he's almost already caught up to you. So it's good, pretty much at this point by the time he lands this, is still next to you, no rhythm change, and so he's going to go wide. Okay, and then again, also with reverse V set, you're turning away from him as opposed to toward him. So there, it's just a matter, like you're able to pull him in, but if you do the reverse V set by turning away from him and do it so that you're ahead enough that he sees the rhythm change before he catches up to you, then I think he knows before takeoff to come in on that line, so you don't have to pull him in and then you're ahead more, which buys you time to do the rhythm change for the tunnel break, and still get to that spot for the forced front cross. But I think that line is okay. Still with forced front cross, to do that a little bit earlier. This backside send to front cross there. If you do the forced front sooner, then it's easier to get into the position for a true reverse wrap, which the handler is in reverse wrap. Handler position is next to the lower third of the bar there, so the dog can still see the wing. So you would be there looking at him, as opposed to like sending him to the backside ahead of you there. But he still turns really well in this, so this like works just fine. You can be moving forward now. Alright, so if he's committed to that jump, as soon as he's past you, now you can go forward already, and that will also help tighten the turn. But and it works just fine for you to do a backside send to front cross here. You get really nice. He turns quite well. I think maybe that he's maybe a little bit more squared up to that bar if you do it as a reverse wrap, but I think it works really well. Just leave sooner. That's all. All right, and then here he's caught up to you, so you can already, he's committed now, so you can front cross. Have that done sooner, but he turns super well. This is really nice connection. Keep that connection, so careful there of dropped connection. Just watch him. Yeah, still pretty much a tandem turn. It works just fine. But again, just so you know the difference, as this is a unique kind of a lap turn line where we're saying go like this, where you're going to still do that rhythm change again, like I mentioned before. So your toes and your chest laser towards the takeoff point, rhythm change, a couple of steps backward this way, and then your right hand low to turn the nose away from you, but also your right foot you can turn and point your toes as well to that tunnel, and then that's how you can do that type of a line with a lap turn. So that's it. And then this reverse V set, again, it's less of a turn, like it's not so much like the handler is rotating with the dog. Yeah, if he by the point that he's on now, like you should already be positioned so that you're right by the bar, covering like the first third of it. So you'd be here rather than this, like, I don't know, was about a meter away from the jump. You should be right here. And so that he's going to come in there and turn like this. But as soon as he's lifting, you're just moving that way. already. We're not rotating with the dog. This is not like a shoulder pull or a post turn. Yeah, there you go. So I think we should do a little bit more reverse wrap or reverse V-set practice. Just to help make sure that those techniques are working for you. There are always those techniques that that need extra practice. For me, it's double lap turn. Those are my nemesis for some reason, so I have to do maintenance on those all the time to make sure I'm doing them correctly. So for you, maybe it's reverse V-set and regular V-set, which that's fine. We'll keep practicing it. But the rest of this is really nice. I think you can just practice seeing the commitment and finishing front cross and reverse spin a bit sooner to really make sure those turns are tighter. I think the answer to the tunnel break is about getting that reverse V-set done sooner, which buys you more time to do the tunnel break and then still get to that force front cross position. The force fronts are really nice. Maybe do them just a bit sooner to let you get into position for reverse wrap, but the backside send to front cross is still fine. Works well for you. Just leave that one sooner. Yeah, that's it. So great job on this. It's a tricky course. It really does require the handler to keep to just handle. There's no breaks in this where you can just let the dog take a couple of jumps on the line. You have to constantly be handling, so it really makes you think on your feet. So really good work with it. Feel free to keep working it if you want to, or go back to the V-sets and reverse V-sets on their own. Great job as usual, and I will be seeing you hopefully in another video soon.